Hi everyone, my name's Sarah and I am coming to you from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. It's the 30th of May and we're all still in the middle of this dreaded COVID-19 coronavirus nightmare that seems to be going on and on and on. So I thought I'd share with you my story about what it's like being in the middle of all of this over in another country. So I'm not obviously from Abu Dhabi originally, I'm from the UK, and in January this year I got an offer to come out here, an exciting opportunity which I thought I couldn't refuse really. It was only short term, wasn't going to be for very long, and I said yes. So on the 1st of February out I came to Abu Dhabi. Never been to Abu Dhabi before, certainly never come over in an experience such as working and advising and things. So it was all a bit new to me, but I was ready to embrace it and try it. So I came out all on my own, left my family at home. Some of them were keen for me to stay at home and not go off to try this crazy experience. And some of them were saying, go for it if that's what you want to do. So I thought, well, it was too good to miss, so off I went. Little did I know that we would then be gripped by this terrible virus and everything changed. I was lucky that I did actually get about 4 weeks here in the country before things really took a turn for the worse in terms of COVID. So I actually did manage to see a few sites before everything stopped. So I was working in a school, an international school, and as I say, I did a little bit of sightseeing, saw the Grand Mosque, went to Warner Brothers, that kind of thing in the first few weeks. And then lo and behold, on the 28th of February, bear in mind I came on the 1st, they decided that schools were going to be closed. They didn't know how long for. Initially it was decided 4 weeks, 2 of which were the spring break holiday anyway. So schools were going to be closed. And we were going to have to plan to teach children online over the internet, 5-year-olds. So this was all a bit strange and a bit new, and never having done anything like that before, was pretty daunted by the experience. But, you know, faced with the situation, we had no choice, and we decided then that's what we would have to do, is teach the children over the internet. So from the 28th of February up until today, which is the 30th of May, we have not been in contact with the children directly. We've not been into school. We're not allowed into school unless by prior arrangement to pick something up. And if we do go into school to do that, to collect something that we need, we have to telephone, and our temperature is taken when we arrive at the school and recorded. So we're teaching from our apartments. I'm teaching from this apartment here. So from the 28th of February, the school was closed. The children weren't coming in anymore for 4 weeks, as they thought it would be, and we had to plan to teach them online. So that was a whole new experience in itself, and it's been a learning curve for everyone, especially trying to teach 5-year-olds over the internet. But hey, they've embraced it and we've embraced it, and I think it's been really successful so far. But aside from the not being able to see the children in person and the teaching part of that role, there was also then the fact that we all had to isolate, we all had to give that social distance that I know you're doing back in the UK, which, you know, is a necessary. Here in the Arab Emirates, or in Abu Dhabi particularly, they've been very strict, probably very proactive. Initially, there was a curfew at 6 p.m. each night till 6 o'clock in the morning, and everybody had to be indoors. And the reason for that was because they disinfect the city. So they don't want people out undoing the work that they're doing. And that's still going on now, this disinfecting of the city, which I think I mentioned in my little clip. But it's been extended now. It was 8 o'clock, and now I think it's going up to be about 10 o'clock. But you get reminders on your phones. So I don't know where they get your numbers from, my mobile number from, but they text me and alert me, an alarm goes off on my iPad and on my phone every day to say, you need to get inside now, we're about to disinfect the city and everybody should be indoors. So that's pretty strict. The other thing that was imposed pretty much straight away was everybody has to wear masks. So in the shopping precinct in the mall, all the shops are closed, but the way it is here is that, you know, the supermarket is actually in the shopping precinct, so you have to be able to go to the supermarket. So you are allowed into the mall for that, but that was the only thing that was open. And as you go in, there are sanitation stations to do your hands, and you have to have a mask on. And there's cameras as you actually walk in. Now, I'm not sure whether they're thermal imaging or whether they are just cameras taking your picture. And if you don't have your mask on, you won't be allowed in the mall. There's security guards there. But if you don't have your mask on when you're out and about, you could be fined as well. And it's pretty steep, the penalties. So everybody complies. Everybody's got their masks on. Everybody exercises that social distance. So as you'll see, I'm in the mall. You can see the way in and way out has been sectioned off. And there's a camera when you come in. This is the way to the supermarket, and there's stickers on the floor as you come in to the mall, but the shops are closed. Just the supermarket. Nando's is closed, but they're very, very big on food delivery here. Everything is delivered. Whatever you want, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Nando's, they will deliver to your house. So I'm going to go and get some shopping, but as you can see, there's no mass panic buying, there's no rush, there's no huge queues, and there's plenty of everything. This is Waitrose. Everybody seems to be approaching it in a very calm, sensible way. When you come into the store, you can access spray, anti-bac spray, and paper towels here to spray your baskets. And then also on the wall, they've got these stations. So as you'll see, it's pretty deserted really. Now, is that because of coronavirus, or is that because it's currently 11 o'clock in the morning and it's 36 degrees out here? But the rules are that the beaches are closed. So you can see how it's been cordoned off there, and the beach is closed. There are some places that you can go that there aren't cones out, but technically the beach is still closed, and the police will come along, and if you are caught you will be fined, the same as if you don't have your mask, which I have got on my elbow here, as you can see on my hand. You will be fined. So yeah, pretty strict. Just so you can see the play park, the children's park, just next to the beach. Empty, not allowed. There are the cones. So yeah, pretty quiet here in Abu Dhabi in lockdown. I'm outside, no other fool is. It's too hot. Anyway. The beaches have been closed. Not allowed on the beach, which I showed you, which is right by where I am. And you would think, and I thought, oh, it's going to be great, this, you know, isolation. But it's not so great, is it? I'm sure you're all feeling that now. I thought I'd be able to go swimming. The gym at the apartments has been closed. The pool has been drained. It's all been cordoned off. Nobody's allowed to go there. You're not allowed to go to the beach. So literally all we can do is go and get food and then back in the apartment, which is fine. It's fine. It needs to be done. to be honest with you, here in Abu Dhabi, at the moment, it's very, very hot, 45 degrees. And I keep getting lovely messages from my family at home saying, oh, it's beautiful here. It's 21 today. And I said, yeah, well, it's 45 degrees here. So, you know, you don't really want to be out and about, walking about. You can't walk about. It's too hot for walking about. So you are inside, but it is lonely, and you do need to make sure that you give yourself routine and you give yourself sense of purpose, give yourself things to do, and you know, time will pass. It's going really quickly for me because I'm still working, so there's a lot of uncertainty. I still don't even know when I'm going to be able to come back to the UK. There are very limited flights. They're not flying to Manchester or to any other airport at the moment apart from Heathrow, and they haven't released any flights after June the 14th. So we're just waiting to see what that's going to look like, how easy it's going to be to get a flight back. I know at the airport they are testing before you go. You're having your temperature taken, and also incoming as well. There's thermal imaging, and they're taking your temperature, and you have to fill out documentation. So over here, they've got, I think, a very good grip on the whole situation. The situation here today, on the 30th of May, is that there have been just over 250 deaths in the UAE from COVID, which I know, compared to the figures of the UK and other countries, that's a very small number. Very sad all the same for those families. But it is an indication really here that they've got things relatively under control through the strategies they've imposed. Yesterday, I took a video to the mall when I went to get my groceries, and there was a testing centre there in the mall. And that there, my friend, is a testing centre for the staff in the mall testing for COVID. So that's quite incredible, isn't it? Actually in the mall, testing the staff that work there. If you're lucky, if the NHS, you see the get tested. Here is the cameras. I think somebody said it's thermal imaging as you come in, or certainly to check compliance of wearing your mask. Just in the corner, I think I filmed it just to show you. And that was for all the employees that work in the mall, so the cleaners and the security guards, to make sure that nobody has got COVID. So, and I also know that the malls were closed originally, and that was a real challenge for everyone because it was very difficult to get any sort of public service. If you wanted to go and pay your phone bill, you couldn't. If you wanted to go and get some money at the bank, you couldn't, because they were all closed. Anything in the mall was closed, and if you did need a service like that, you had to go out into the city to find a separate isolated shop that wasn't part of a mall. So that was a bit stressful initially, but the malls are back open here now. As you could see, they're very quiet. There's no mad panic buying. There hasn't ever been a time here since February where I haven't been able to buy anything that I wanted, from toilet paper to pasta. That was another one we were hearing about. They always had plenty of everything, and everybody seemed calm, fed up, you know, about the situation, but calm and sensible. And everybody I really come into contact with has respected the authorities' decisions on what needs to be done to make this situation better. So I'm due to come back to the UK whenever we get details of any flights being put back on for us after June the 14th. And I find it, I must say, a little ironic that I'm coming from a place here, Abu Dhabi, where there have been in the region of only 250 deaths, where the city is disinfected every night, where everybody has to wear a mask, where the beaches are closed and everybody has to self-isolate and exercise social distancing. And when I come back into the UK, where there have been a horrific number of deaths, I then am going to have to quarantine, which I think is almost like closing the gate after the horse has gone. But there we go. If that's what I have to do, that's what I'll have to do. But it does seem strange. I think I'm going to be more at risk coming home than I am here in Abu Dhabi. Anyway, so I hope you found my small insight into life overseas during a global pandemic a little bit interesting, and I hope you all keep safe. Take care.